Welcome to Sense and Nonsense A to Z, where we pick topics based off of the letter of the day. Today is episode 7 of season 3, featuring the letter G.
We're family and we're your hosts, AT and Z. So let's get started. So letter G, hello, or good day is German. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Brings back memories, I'm sure, right?
Or you could also say Grüß dich.
There you go.
That's also German.
There you go. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome.
So it was so nice to see you in New Jersey the other day.
It was pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So happy birthday to your mom.
Yes.
Yeah, she looked great, by the way.
Yeah,
she
she's
looks fantastic for 90.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was nice to see the big guy for his birthday too. So.
Yeah, that was cool.
And thanks for putting on his shirt.
That was an accident, man.
Was it an accident?
I brought it, but I didn't know he was going to wear it that day.
There you go.
And
he
he
knew.
wound up wearing it. Yeah. It looks really good on him.
It really does.
Yeah. So that was cool. We started an Airbnb and we host a little lunch for my son. And it's weird hosting in a house that's not yours. It was fun though. We had a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for the invite.
Sure.
So I'm going to talk about a little bit of a crappy subject.
Oh boy. Okay.
Has to do with color guard because, I'm over 45.
Yeah. And
I realize I'm no spring chicken. Okay?
As the commercial says.
Oh, man. And that song has been in my head. So
I gotta tell you, I mute that sucker as soon as I see it
Oh,
coming.
my God. So first of all, the results are back. They're negative.
Okay, great.
And at my age, I have to do it again in 3 years, which is not a problem. I mean, it's easy, but it's just a whole process. All right. You get the box, you set it up, you kind of read the instructions as you're going along. All right. So you have to really kind of schedule this because once you do your sample, you got to run it to the post office or to the UPS store. So,
Isn't that weird that you can send that through the mail?
oh, yeah.
That's a weird thing.
Very strange.
Yeah.
It comes in a big plastic thing inside the box, but and the container's huge.
Is it a huge box?
It's in a decent sized box, and it comes with a bracket that you put under the toilet seat between a bowl, and you put this container in, and you got to do your business in a container. All right. So I do my business. I look at the sample, and I look at the instructions, and I'm like, whoa. I gave them a pretty big sample.
Oh no.
It's like 4 times the size of what the picture said. So I'm like, do I take some out? What do I do?
Oh my God.
I'm like, I'm not touching it. It's going.
Yeah.
It's going.
Yeah.
So you put chemical in it, you screw the top in, you put it back in the box, blah, blah, blah. I get the results. The doctor's office calls me, tells me it's negative, which is wonderful.
Uh-huh.
So I tell her, did they have any comments about the size of the stall?
You get an A+.
Did I get an A+ on that one? Yeah. So anyway, it's real easy. Yeah. Public service announcement.
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity, just do it. Just do it. It's very simple. Ready to get going? Let's jump off this crappy subject, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's start us off with the quote.
Okay.
Always trust your gut. Your brain can be fooled. Your heart is an idiot, but your gut doesn't know how to lie. And that was by Stephen J. Mordew, who's a writer in the UK.
That's a really interesting quote.
Well, it's all about the gut, right?
Yeah. Let's go beyond normal.
Yes.
Do you listen to your gut over your head or your heart?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah. Sometimes you get that feeling that gut is loud sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I think for me, whether I'm going to go with logic or feeling or intuition is situation dependent. If there are decisions to be made, I'm not going to throw all caution to the wind and go with my heart. I have too many responsibilities for that now.
Right.
I got to at least think about it a little bit. When I was young and I didn't have another human being depending on me, I could operate that way for sure. And many times I did. I'd just be like, screw it, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
With my heart, I think I spent a lot of my life protecting it because it's taken a few hits. And so I probably haven't listened to it as much as I could have. But I think I listened to my gut the most when there's an element of danger involved.
Mm.
Like if I walk into a place and my gut is like, nope, then I'm out. I don't care who I'm with or what the plans were. So I think the best outcome would be if all three mechanisms were working together. A lot of times you get conflicting information from those different mechanisms.
That's true.
So if you are getting conflicting information, that's a good indication you're out of balance somewhere, and you might want to spend some time figuring out why.
It's a challenge.
It is. It's a challenge. And I think a lot of times we override our gut so much that we forget to listen to it when it's really telling us something that we need to listen to. So I'm with you on it. Like if it ever comes up loud, like you said, I don't ignore it. Because
you can't.
I feel like you're setting yourself up for disaster.
Right.
Yeah.
It's your body telling you something.
It is. And they call your gut your second brain. So go with it, because it's like Mr. Mordew said, always trust it, because your brain can be fooled. And I think we trick ourselves a lot of times into doing stuff that we know is not good for us.
Yeah. I'm going to do a top 5 list this week.
Okay.
And it has to do with girls' names.
Ooh.
Yeah. And this is per Social Security. And they have, like, going back, I think 100 years it was. But anyway, so as of 2022, here are the top 5 names that were given to girls. Olivia was number 1.
Wow.
Emma, Charlotte, Amelia, Sophia. Now, within the last 15 years, these 5 names, along with Isabella and Ava, have been in the mix. Okay, so now in comparison, so the year I was born, 1957, okay, it was Mary, Susan, Linda, Deborah, Debra, and Karen. And I got to tell you something. Grew up with a lot of Susans, Lindas, Deborahs, and Karens. Not too many Marys, even though that was number 1. Every so often I had a Mary, schoolmate, but that was it. Now, the year you were born, 1977. You ready for your list?
Sure.
Jennifer, Melissa, Amy, Jessica, Heather.
Wow.
Does that ring?
So many Jens.
Yeah.
I knew a couple of Heathers.
Jennifer was a very popular name.
A couple Melissas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Not that many Amy's. Yeah. I don't think I had an Amy growing up.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
I
thought it was.
I like a couple of the names on the new list.
Yeah.
Last 15 years list.
Okay, so let's go with a real comparison 100 years ago.
Okay.
It was Mary, Dorothy, Helen, Margaret, Ruth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Is that wild?
Yeah. I'm not surprised Mary was on both of those early lists. It's interesting to see like how things change and come back around again. Like Sophia, I have great grandmother named Sophia. Now it's coming back around,
Popular name, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I've got A to Z headlines.
Okay.
First thing I want to talk about is Netflix. They recently ended their DVD rental service. I didn't even realize they still had it going.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Now they're cracking down on account sharing. So only people who live under the same roof can share accounts. People now need to get either their own account, or you can share an account for an additional $8 a month.
I'm too much of a weenie to share my account with anybody.
Oh, no.
No thanks.
I don't even have an account, so there you have it. And the thought is that other streaming services are going to start lowering the price to try to get those subscribers over.
Well, they should. All the streaming services are way too expensive.
Yeah.
And you still get commercials.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when cable first came out, the whole idea was, hey, give us $20 a month or $15, whatever it was, and you're not going to get commercials. Then they started putting in the commercials. Yeah, now it's a big one.
And it does the same thing with streaming services. At first, it was like no commercials or limited commercials, and now they just keep adding them in.
Of course, that's
like I pay $15 a month, and I'm still getting all these freaking commercials.
Of course.
And it's not even a premium. It's like you don't deserve more than $15 a month for your content. Sorry, no.
All right, second thing I have is in Legoland, Denmark. They made a full-size Ferrari Monza SP1, and it's on display now. It's built with over 380,000 Lego bricks.
Holy cow.
It's awesome.
I bet.
It is awesome. It took them 1,414 hours to assemble it.
Sheesh.
Yeah. All right, the next thing I have is in Belgium. A 45-year-old man wanted to teach his family a lesson about staying in touch with each other, right? Because he kind of felt that he was being left out of family gatherings and that sort of thing. So what he did is he faked his death.
Oh my God.
And the family gathered in I guess someone's backyard, and there was a big field on the other side of this backyard, and he helicoptered in.
This is not cool.
Yeah, it was not cool at all. I mean, I get teaching people a lesson, but that's a little rough, you know?
No, that's not the way.
Yeah.
And you thought you were estranged before.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You didn't do yourself any favors. Yeah.
This stunt just put you in a doghouse.
Exactly.
Which leads me into Brooklyn, New York. A 3-year-old pit bull terrier named Mocha was left back in January with a pet sitter when the family went on a vacation. When they got back, they couldn't locate the pet sitter and they couldn't locate the dog.
No.
Months and months they've been looking for this dog. After all these months, they decided as a family, it's time to get a dog. They go to the local shelter, and guess who's sitting there as soon as they walk in?
You're kidding me.
Mocha's sitting right there. Yep. Animal control picked the dog up because it was tied. I think it was tied to a tree, I think I heard. And I mean, Mocha just went ballistic. She was so happy to see her family.
Of course she was.
Yeah.
That is hideous.
Yeah. So here's another PSA. Microchip your dog.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, obviously you can't locate the dog that way, but if the dog ends up in a shelter, you'll be able to.
Yeah. They can reach out.
Ends up being a happy story, but I hope they find that pet sitter. I really, really do. So that's our headlines for this week.
Let's do the Big Bang Therapy checklist.
I am ready.
Season 4, episode 20, the herb garden germination. Mm-hmm. This is a fun one. This is one where Sheldon and Amy conduct a meme theory experiment on all their friends because they run into some gossip that Bernadette is thinking of breaking up with Howard.
Right.
When Amy proposes that they do this experiment, Sheldon's like, look at you getting me to engage in the social sciences.
You're such a vixen.
Yeah. And she loves that. She is so happy. The whole thing starts off with they're at a lecture from Brian Greene. And this is actually my cringe moment. He's in a bookstore and he's talking about how he's kind of dedicated a bit of his career in life to making science palatable for the masses and presenting hard to understand concepts in a way that regular people who have no background in science or math can understand physics. And man, Sheldon stands up and busts his chops right in the middle.
I know.
And he's like, you know, have you ever thought about doing something more useful, like reading to the elderly? Not your books.
Not your books.
Something they might enjoy.
Oh man, that was my cringe moment too. Yeah, I was like, oh man. And he's like, excuse me?
Yeah. I kid, of course.
Said.
I'm a big fan, you know, and he's gracious enough to let it go. But it was like, oh man, Sheldon.
Yeah, I know.
Sheldon goes home and reports to Leonard that he has had a strange experience with Amy, and Leonard's like, how can you tell?
That was kind of the theme throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, how do you figure that out?
Yeah. And he winds up telling them that they've engaged in gossip, and he winds up telling Leonard what the gossip is. But while they're talking about this, they're playing an archery game on Nintendo, and Sheldon is acting out all the portions of the game. He's pulling an arrow out of his quiver. He's notching it. He's pulling it back, and he's very good at it because his father taught him archery when he was young. So it's Leonard's turn.
This is my laugh out loud.
This is one of mine too.
Yep.
So he pulls the bow back, and Sheldon's like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" And he's like, getting ready to shoot an arrow. He's like, "With what?" he's like, you didn't pull an arrow out of your quiver. And Leonard's like, I'm not doing that. And he goes, the people at Nintendo can only go so far to simulate an athletic experience. We need to do our part. So Leonard goes, fine. He pulls an arrow out and he stabs Sheldon in the chest with it.
That was funny. That was funny.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then after a couple seconds, Sheldon says, okay, I'll play along. Ow.
I love it so much. And then one of the idiosyncrasies is then Sheldon's turn again and he's out of arrows. So he goes up to the TV and he goes to pull the arrows back out. He puts them back in his quiver.
He plucks them out.
Yeah.
So
funny. This piece of gossip that Bernadette is going to break up with Howard permeates their group. Right. And they're sitting in a cafeteria and Howard tells the guys that he's going to propose to Bernadette.
It's like, oh,
I know. And they're all like, no, we might want to wait, you know, just you know, I don't have to do anything. They're eating sandwiches and salads at work, which they do a lot.
Yep.
And Howard gets up to talk to his cousin about Bernadette's ring, and you see he's got a Saturn belt buckle on
with 5 rings.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah. So that's a one belt buckle. He wears another one later on, but it's
of
hard
which
to
I
make out.
I couldn't figure it out.
It's
It
got
looks like
3 figures on it.
3 figures on it. It's greenish. Yeah. I tried to look, and I was Googling all over the place. I couldn't make it out.
I feel weird sometimes, like pausing it and getting my face right up in Howard's crotch on my TV to try and figure out what that
or on a computer. I know.
Yeah, it's like, anyway. The whole point of this experiment that Sheldon and Amy are doing is to see how fast gossip travels through their group.
And it goes fast.
And it depends on how tantalizing the piece of gossip is. So they decide to give one piece of tantalizing gossip and one piece of mundane gossip and see which one travels faster.
Right.
And so Amy goes and knocks on Penny's door and she said, Sheldon and I had intercourse. In other news, I'm thinking of starting an herb garden. Mum's the word.
Gotta go.
And she leaves and of course rips through the group like wildfire. She first tells Raj because Raj is secretly in love with Bernadette, and so he's hoping that she'll break up with Howard so that he's got a shot with her. And then in order to get his mind off of that, Penny tells him about Sheldon and Amy, and he's like,
and this is my second laugh out loud moment. After she tells him, he says, shut your ass.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
And it's so funny. And then he goes, did they know what they were doing when they were doing it?
Exactly. They somehow figured it out.
Yeah. Priya is in one of these episodes, Raj's sister, and she's dating Leonard at the time, and they're at Raj's apartment, Priya and Raj, and they're talking over Skype or Zoom or whatever to their parents in India. Yeah. And Raj keeps hinting that she's dating somebody, and she keeps like digging her nails into his leg and stomping on his foot and everything. And she winds up telling him that piece of information about Howard and Bernadette. And my favorite people in this whole episode are Raj's parents. And they are the guest appearance. They're so good.
They are so good.
I love when they show up. And they're like, Rajesh, are you not making your sister feel comfortable? Why are you not making your sister feel comfortable? And he's like, I am. I share everything with her, even my friend left. And she stamps on his foot. And then they're like, you're not letting her date that little Howard boy, are you? You know? And he's like, no, he's with Bernadette. And his father goes, that doesn't sound Jewish. And the mother goes, you can't tell by that. Winona Ryder's Jewish. So Raj's parents are Alice Amter, Brian George, and Priya is Artie Mann. And those are the celebrity appearances, along with Brian Greene, the physicist. So Raj tells Leonard about Amy and Sheldon having sex, and he goes home and he asks him kind of about how are you and Amy doing, you know? And Sheldon catches on. He's like, oh, he knows this piece of gossip. He's like, well, I was just talking to Raj and he said she's got a glow about her these days. And Sheldon's like, is it a glow from working in an herb garden with no sunscreen on? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, we may never know. As my mother says, the Asians are an inscrutable folk. So I'm putting that in as the catchphrase since it comes from Mary, and Sheldon said, as my mother always says.
Right.
The other catchphrase is "Mum's the word" because Amy says that twice.
To Penny.
Howard does wind up proposing to Bernadette, and she accepts, which is a lovely thing. And Raj winds up crying.
So she kind of stops him in the middle of the proposal.
Yeah.
And she says, yes. And he goes, yes to what? I'll marry you. You will? And then Raj goes, you will? And then I will.
Yeah. And then everybody's congratulating them, and Raj is crying on the floor.
Yeah.
So silly. And then, of course, Bernadette texts Penny, because she's not around because of Priya.
Yeah, of course.
That Howard proposed. And Amy goes over there, and she's like, Howard proposed? She's like, oh, never mind that.
Just stop by to let you know I'm getting orthotics. Also, I'm carrying Sheldon's baby. Mum's the word.
Exactly. And she leaves again, and she heads downstairs. And as she heads downstairs, Leonard's coming upstairs, and he looks at her and he goes, You're pregnant? He's got his phone in his hand. And that's my other laugh out loud moment.
That's good.
It's so good. And she's like, wow. Does it say anything about orthotics on there?
You know, I liked Sheldon's green arrow shirt.
I did too. I really did like it, especially since they were playing the archery game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And there's no whiteboard except on his computer when he's talking to Amy over Zoom. He's got the digital whiteboard there.
I saw that too.
So I like that. And there's also no Spock alert in this one.
Right.
When Howard proposes to Bernadette, they're eating Chinese food.
Yeah.
Is that everything? Do we get everything?
Other than who do you love most in this episode?
Yeah, who do you love most in this episode?
I'm going to say Amy.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
She was
because
good.
I mean she's so analytic.
Yeah.
You know, and how she speaks and it's the way she answers Sheldon, their exchange. I love it. Mm-hmm. Love it.
Yeah, it's
and
really
and
good.
Of course when she went over to Penny's apartment twice.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of fact, here it is. Here's the information. Gotta go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I do love the exchange that happens though, when they're eating dinner and Sheldon and Amy are in the kitchen.
Yes,
and
I do
she's
too.
like, Bernadette asked me about our encounter, and she's like, I told her you were aloof but effective. And he goes, I wish you hadn't have done that. Now I'm going to become a chick magnet, and I'm busy enough as it is.
Oh, so good.
No, this is a good episode.
It's a good one.
It really has a lot going on, and they really showcase everybody in this episode. Everybody has a good moment.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
You know? And it for a huge ensemble like this, that's a heck of a feat. And everybody's getting moments. It's like, wow, they really did a really good job with this show. Word game.
I just reached for my envelope too. Oh, I know.
All right, letter G.
Yes, think G. Okay. Oh, all right. I'm ready with the first one.
Okay.
All right. Piano.
Guitar.
Yes.
Yay.
All right. That's 5. Okay, good.
Think G.
I'm trying.
Earth.
Globe.
Yes.
All right. Oh. I wonder why this came up. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Innocent.
Guilty.
There you go.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh. Appreciative.
Grateful.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Cereal.
The only thing I can think of is grape nuts.
Okay. Crunchy.
I have no idea.
Oats.
Cereal crunchy oats. Grains?
That was a good guess. Bar.
Bar?
Bar.
Granola.
There you go. That was hard. That was hard.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Bubble?
Gum.
Yes.
Yes. All right. All right. Algebra.
Geometry?
Yes.
Oh my God.
No.
I almost plotzed. Okay. Lawn.
Grass.
Yes.
Oh, Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is my last one.
Okay.
Diploma.
Graduate.
Yes, or graduation.
Graduation.
Yes. Graduation. Judges. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, better.
Thank you, judges.
Oh, gosh. Silly.
Grin.
Doof.
Okay, so it's that kind of silly, like a doofus. It's not coming to me. I'm sorry. I can't even come up with a word. A G word.
Uh-huh.
Goof. Goofball.
Goofy.
Goofy? All right.
Goofy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. That was hard.
Is that technically a 4?
Yeah, it's a 4.
1, 2,
Yeah.
46.
46, that's good.
Yeah, it's respectable. Come on.
It's better than last time. It better be friggin' respectable.
Yeah, exactly. Can't always get 50.
Well, considering we only got 50 one time,
I know.
You're right. We can't.
I know. We were on a roll in the beginning. I was like,
know.
row.
I know.
Yeah. All right.
Are you ready with your Desert Island playlist?
I am. Love this
Great.
band.
For episode G, our band is Genesis.
Now, my prediction, we're going to have 1 that's alike.
Okay. All right.
Do you want me to go first?
No, I'm going to go first.
Okay, you go first then.
All right. Because I haven't gotten this song out of my head since I listened to it.
I hear you.
Okay. The first one is Invisible Touch.
I love that song.
I can't get it out of my head.
just like me with the Color Guard song.
I mean, it's getting on my nerves. Like,
oh man,
I listened to it a couple of times because I had so many that I kept
I do too.
I kept going through and trying to
Me too.
hone it down. Some songs are more nostalgic for me than others, and this is one. And so that's my number 1, Invisible Touch.
Okay.
What's your number 1?
Home by the Sea.
Oh,
Which would be so appropriate
yeah.
for being on a desert island.
Yes.
And this song, I'm talking about the full version of this song, is 11 minutes and 14
It's
seconds.
a really long song.
It's a really long song. So this is one that I would want to be there because it's a long song.
Yeah.
All right. And it's a good song.
It is a good song. Okay. I don't know if we're going to match one.
I think we're going to match one.
Okay. My number 2
Mm-hmm.
is Misunderstanding.
Okay. Did not come up on my list. Good song.
It is a good song. I love that song.
Yeah.
I like the video for it too.
I do too.
Because he's got a full
I love all
beard.
their videos.
He's got a full beard and he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
I know.
He looks really good, actually. Driving a convertible
know.
around Los Angeles. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the first song that came to my head when we said Genesis is this song, but I rated it number 2. Is Abacab.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's the first song that came to my head. I love Abacab. I really do.
Okay.
So that's my number 2. So we're down to one last song.
I don't know if we're going to match.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay. My number 3 is Land of Confusion.
Which is my honorable mention.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So we didn't match any of it. So
no.
my number 3 is Tonight, Tonight, Tonight.
That is my honorable mention.
There you go.
Yes. That's good because I get to put it on our playlist then.
Yes.
The kid has a pick.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He found a song.
I can't dance.
Nope.
No?
Just a job to do.
Oh, I like.
He's like, the bang, bang, bang. Yeah, he
yep.
loves that. Over and over and over and over. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, so that's his. But on my honorable mention list, I have Tonight, Tonight, Tonight.
Okay.
That's All. And No Reply at All. There's so many good ones.
And you know, all of our picks are after Peter Gabriel left.
I know.
Yep.
His songs
and then there was
depressing
three.
me. It kind of depressed me.
Yeah. And I do like Peter Gabriel, but
I do too. I like a lot of his solo stuff.
Yeah.
But the Genesis songs, I don't know. They just don't speak to me as much as the Phil Collins ones.
I agree.
I had an old boss who loved Genesis, but only the Peter Gabriel stuff.
Oh,
and
really?
I'd be like, I can't talk to you.
And listening to all the Genesis songs just made me realize what great musicians these three guys were, and I got to tell you something. I know Phil Collins, has a whole career of his own, and so does Mike Rutherford, but I don't think Tony Banks really gets the accolades, and he's fantastic.
Yeah,
he really is. These guys are good.
Yeah, really great band. Yeah. Do you agree with our picks? We'd love to hear what your choices would be. So leave us a comment on our Facebook page, Sense and Nonsense A to Z. Or if you're listening on YouTube, in the comments down below, and let us know which 3 songs by Genesis you would put on your Desert Island playlist.
A to Z Sports.
Okay.
Let's start off with the latest championships. In the NHL, congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights, who took the Stanley Cup in 5 games over the Florida Panthers. And it was their first championship.
Yeah.
Over to the NBA. In the finals, congrats to the Denver Nuggets for beating the Miami Heat in 5 games. Again, first championship ever for them, too. However, I want to talk about something that happened in Miami during the third quarter timeout of Game 4. Okay. Conor McGregor, who's an Ultimate Fighting champion, he was there to do a skit with the Miami Heat mascot, Bernie.
Did you punch him in the face?
He was there to promote a pain relief spray, okay? And apparently he's a spokesperson for it. It kind of went bad. So the plan bit was that the mascot was coming out to center court wearing an oversized boxing gloves and a robe and, doing the boxing dance, around him. And so McGregor starts spraying him with the spray and then hauls up and hits him. He was supposed to pretend hit him. Not only did the poor mascot, had to be a young kid, fall right to the floor. Yeah, he goes down and he hits him again.
I know. He hit him when he was on the ground. I couldn't believe it.
Exactly.
He must have said something to him that we couldn't hear.
I don't know.
You can't taunt a UFC fighter.
I guess you
can't. I'm 100% that kid said something. He was taunting him somehow.
Oh my God. The kid got slid off. They slid him right off the court. And he went right to the hospital.
I imagine he did. He just got punched in the face by a UFC fighter. I mean, he's in a mascot costume, but it's not as if that's any protection.
No. But the post-game interview, the Heat's coach was asked about it.
Yeah.
And he said, that's Miami Heat toughness. And he said he'll be ready for the next game.
Oh, my gosh.
So the Atlanta Braves. We're in Arizona playing the Diamondbacks, and in the top of the 4th inning, the score was tied 3-3. Marcell Ozuna, who was the DH for the game, he hit a monster hit. It was 415 feet. And so it's a tied game, right? And so what does this guy do? He sits and he watches it for 7 seconds and watches it. And then it didn't go over the fence. So then he had to start running to first base.
What a putz.
He's lucky he made it to first base. But that for sure should have been at least a double. 2 innings later, the coach did pull him. And by the way, the Braves did go on to win 8-5. And I was sitting there and I'm saying to myself, I think I might have pulled him when he's on first base. I would have substituted a pinch runner for him. I know it would have been embarrassing. And I know he's one of their stars, but it has to teach him a lesson,
Yeah. It's not about you. It's about the team winning.
It's about the team, and they just sit there and they watching and styling,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. They want that profile shot on Sports Illustrated or something.
Or Sports Center, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third thing is the biggie. that the PGA merged with Live Golf.
Yeah.
All right. So the bottom line story is that it's not really a merger. It's pretty much that the Saudis bought out the PGA.
Right.
Yeah. Because Live Golf was unable to get media coverage, of which PGA is all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And PGA has been losing money because since last year, they've been battling Live in the courts, accusing them of interfering with their players and their contracts, of which there's a countersuit of the players who went over and they got suspended. So they countersued the PGA for antitrust laws. This has been costing the PGA buku money, and I heard $55 million so far.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the golfers that didn't go over to Live are really frustrated because nobody told them, and it's not been good. Mm-hmm. It's just not been good. Rory McIlroy, who's pretty much the poster boy for this whole thing, who stuck with the PGA, he was offered $400 million by Live Golf to go over to them. As a matter of fact, Tiger was rumored to have been offered between 700 and 800 million.
Oh my God. To play golf?
Yep.
That's absurd.
Yep. The PGA put out a statement, which I kind of cringed. And they said that Rory will be rewarded for his loyalty. And I'm like, ew. In the meantime, the U.S. Senate has launched an investigation against this deal. This is rough. This is really rough. So anyway, the 9/11 families are fighting this. The Senate is fighting this. We'll see where this goes. But in the meantime, nobody knew about it, too. None of the players. Everybody was surprised. Everybody was stunned.
What are you going to do? You're going to jump ship? You're going to stop playing?
I don't know. Going to stop watching?
I've never watched in the first place. I could care less. I think it's stupid.
I
do. I think
the
it's
ball,
absurd.
follow the ball.
It's absurd to make that much money for hitting a little friggin' ball into little friggin' cups. It's
a lot of money.
Stupid. But that's a hobby. That's all that is. I mean, I think most sports people are grossly overpaid. It's absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy what's going on anymore.
How they justify these contracts and stuff.
I know.
But golfers, give me a break.
I do follow golf a little bit, just because, I love my sports. But I got to tell you something. I'm done. If this thing really comes to fruition, I'm done.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah. So anyway, and
we have to really, as a nation, be careful about the things we're giving away.
Exactly.
We really do.
Exactly.
We've given away a lot of this country.
Yes.
Bit by bit.
And I know this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
This is just my opinion.
But for anybody outside, it doesn't matter who it is, in my opinion. Yeah. We have given away ownership of way too much of the things that are American.
Yeah. And access to America, Mm-hmm. So we need to be careful. That's all.
Yeah.
And so that's it for now.
All right. On to the next controversy.
Yeah.
Mrs. Maisel.
Yep. As you mentioned, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Mm-hmm. Season 5, episode 7, a house full of extremely lame horses.
Oh my God. That is so true.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Ugh. I don't think I've ever agreed with the title of an episode more.
I do like this episode, by the way.
I do too. Yeah.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stories. So the main part was in 1961. Moish and Shirley in the Maisel home. Mm-hmm. And they're watching TV, and Rose is there with Midge inspecting the house for her matchmaking party event.
Yeah.
They're watching the Danny Stevens show, which is like the old Danny Thomas show.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch any clips?
No,
you're too young. And our guest star was Hank Azaria, who was fantastic.
Yeah, he was really
fantastic. Good. And the singing at the end of the episode, that was phenomenal, because that's exactly what Danny Thomas used to do. Mm-hmm. Coincidentally, Danny Stevens was scheduled to be on the Gordon Ford show the next day to plug his new book, right?
Yeah.
Here's the only flash forward. It flashed to 1973, where Rose was filming her commercial for her matchmaking business. So during this, Midge's accountant tells her that her mother's business is losing tons of money.
Yeah.
He kind of suggested to sell everything and take a loss. And Midge pretty much says that it's going to stay open for the brief time she's got left.
Yeah.
Okay, so back in 1961. First, Rose is trying to light a stove.
Okay. Rose is the biggest pain in the ass going.
Yes, she is. I know.
In every time period, in every situation, she is the epitome of, you got to be friggin' kidding me.
Yeah.
She is the biggest lame horse.
Yes.
In the house. And the fact that she has to holler to everyone individually,
right,
every step of the way, makes me want to shoot her in the kitchen, just like Janusz.
So Zelda saves the day and shows up. She tells her that it's just the pilot. Then Janusz comes in. He's really upset that she keeps on running back. She doesn't work for the Weissmans anymore. Mm-hmm. In Polish, he says, this is an entire house full of extremely lame horses, which is the name of the episode.
Yeah, and he's like, in the old country, you shoot them.
Yes.
A useless horse, you shoot it, and you move on.
Right. And in the meantime, in the other room, Abe is desperately trying to teach Ethan how to play piano, and he's waiting for this kid's genius to kick in because he's 6 years old now. He's the firstborn Weissman, and the geniuses happen at age 6, so he's waiting for the genius here.
Yeah.
Abe goes to Ethan's school and finds out that Ethan's not inspired at all. He's not inspired to be an engineer or an architect. All the kid wants to do is be happy and run around in circles.
Yeah.
And he's devastated.
Okay. He is devastated, but before he finds out this and he becomes devastated, I love that he's walking around with the snack that they give it, and it's peanut butter and pretzels. And he's like, I love this snack. It's crunchy, it's salty, it's nutty, it's creamy. It's the perfect snack. Do the kids get this snack too?
Yes,
and he's like, this is a very good school. He loves the snack. This is so funny.
So then we go over to the Gordon Ford show, where Mike Carr is now officially the new show's producer because George got fired. Danny Stevens is scheduled there, and he wants to meet with the writers because he needs help to be on the show because he wants to be funny in order to sell books. So when he goes over to the writer's room, Midge gives him advice and says, why not talk about your life? Talk about your parents. And he says, sure, where's the funny? And then Midge continues and says, if it's interesting and real, you can find the funny. Mm-hmm. He pretty much took her advice, and it was a winner. He was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
So all the writers go to the drinking hole where Danny is there with Gordon Ford. So Danny flags over Midge to come sit with them. And he offers her a job in front of Gordon Ford for more money.
Yeah. How do you know it's going to be more money? He's like, well, I'll ask her how much she makes here, and I'll give her more.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, Gordon's so pissed.
Oh, he's pissed. Not a happy camper.
They wind up getting a big fight about it, and he gets tossed out of two shores again. Yeah.
Right. So meanwhile, it jumps over to Susie winning at the poker table with Mike Carr, and that Mike arranged for Midge to appear on a private showcase for Jack Part. Gordon felt that he had to voluntarily give Midge a raise because he wanted to keep her. So when she walked into work that day, Mike told her that she was getting a raise, and she was like, why? And this is like one of my favorite parts. Mm-hmm. And that she now makes as much money as the guy writers. So she said, if this gets out, every working woman will want to get paid just as much as a man to do the exact same job, and our entire civilization will collapse. And Mike goes, exactly. She walks away and says, I can't help you, Mike. Mm-hmm. So she goes over to Gordon's office and she asks about a raise. She then tells him that she was invited to do the showcase, and she suggested to put her on his show, and that she plans on getting this Jack Parr thing.
I didn't like this part.
You didn't?
No, I thought she was really counting her chickens before they were hatched.
Well, she kind of was. And you know what? You got to have a little bit of confidence, right?
You do, but she was really, she really set herself up to be bent over in this position because she's basically telling him, you're going to be sorry. You're going to be sorry.
Yep.
And, you know.
She does the stand-up for Jack Parr, which went great.
Really well.
However, the booker was obviously a little bit of a chauvinist.
Yeah.
And didn't get it.
No. Which I don't understand that. You're funny or you're not. What does the way she looks have to do with anything? I hated that guy. I'm like,
yeah, I did too. I want to smack him.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't want to book Midge, but he wants to book James on the show. Mm-hmm. So Midge gets home and she heads right into the bathroom for a cry, which wakes up Abe and Esther. And then Abe tells Esther to go back to bed. And as he tries to console Midge through the bathroom door, he hears Mozart on the piano. And I love this part. So he heads over to the living room and he's assuming it's Ethan. And there's little Esther on the piano because she's the one who's the genius.
Yeah, I felt like that was a predictable moment. I felt like they ruined it by that flash forward early on. You knew it's going to be her. Yeah. So there's no surprise for the audience. Exactly. So, I mean, I feel like they ruined that reveal moment that, Abe had it. But as a viewer, I knew instantaneously as soon as I heard that playing that it was Esther.
Going to be Esther. Yeah.
They told you already.
Yeah.
So it was like that was a wasted moment, I felt.
I know, but I did like the reaction of Abe.
But it would have been great to have that reaction with him. That was a moment that we got robbed of because that would have been really great.
Yes,
to have that be a surprise.
And I wasn't a big fan of the flash forwards, and I didn't mind this one. You know,
no, it wasn't that far in the future anyway.
Exactly. We got the idea that something's going on with Rose.
Yeah, and it was with Rose. I mean, what is going to be a big reveal with Rose? That she's basically her just, 14 years in the future? She's still Rose. She's completely oblivious to everything around her. She's living in a dream world where nobody somehow tells her the truth about anything and just enables her to be a lame horse.
Yes.
Without,
there you go.
Honestly, she just is going on and on about her matchmaking business, which I understand is important to her. But like Midge's whole apartment got flooded and her career is like in a shambles. But again, selfish cow, your daughter is going through something. And instead of telling her, oh, the carpets have to be replaced and this has to happen and this has to happen because of me, how about taking a moment to check in with her and see what's going on with her, since her apartment is the one that's got flooded and she's the one who's going to have to fix it. I just can't get over how selfish Rose is. 197 takes to get your freaking commercial right. All you gotta do is walk down the stairs and stop on a freaking spot, and you can't do that? Come on, how useless of a human being are you? You know? And what's really annoying me is I understand Janusz.
Oh yeah,
Zelda does keep running over there.
Yes.
And it's for these dumb things. She made you a book. Oh, what book? Every time she brings up the book, you act like you've never heard about the book before.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so rude. Yeah. You can't even be bothered to pay attention, but you want her to continually save you.
Lame horse.
Yeah. And I love how he says to her, Mrs. Weissman, I am very certain that you know how to answer the
phone.
Yeah. But it's just like, come on.
Come on. I know. By the way, I read a review about this episode, and it said, don't be surprised if Hank Azaria gets nominated for like a best guest appearance.
Yeah.
I happen to like this episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I'm going to ask you some deep questions now.
Okay. Letter G.
Number 1. What was the last thing you groaned about?
Mrs. Maisel.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
Rose on Mrs. Maisel. Yep.
Yeah. That would be me too. I think I literally did. I was like, oh my God, this woman doesn't know anything. It's ridiculous.
Yes, I know. You asked for the latest one. Okay.
I know.
Yes.
Number 2.
Okay.
What are you most grateful for?
My health.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to the color guard.
I know, right?
It's negative. Yay!
I'm most grateful for my son.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
Okay.
Grease, the movie, or Galaxy Quest?
Galaxy Quest.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah, by landslide.
I knew it.
Yeah, you probably are going with Grease, huh?
I'm going to pick Grease. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grease is the word. Okay, number 4. Would you rather get or give?
What?
Anything.
I'm a giver.
Mm-hmm.
I do like to get, but
Yeah.
no, I'm more of a giver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy giving.
I
How
do
about you?
too. I like
Yeah.
to give. Yeah.
I think that's our nature.
I do like to get, but
Yeah.
I think I probably like to give more than I like to get.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, number 5.
Okay.
I know we're blowing through these, and they're
I
not,
know
I
we
don't know
are.
that they're not very deep. But
Okay. Usually the 5th one is pretty deep, so I'm ready.
Or trying.
Okay.
What are you most generous with?
My time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my answer.
That's good.
How about you?
My love.
Yeah.
I think I'm most generous with my love.
Okay.
Mhm. I give people chances,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't think I'm the most generous with my time
Yeah.
because I have started to pick and choose a lot over the past 10 years, I think. So those were the shallow, deep questions.
Not so deep.
For letter G. I don't know. They just kept popping in. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
That's fine.
All right. Okay, I've got the red box. Let's do table topics.
Alrighty. Love that thing. I say that every week.
Yes, you do.
Yes. Because it's true.
All right, here we go. If
Okay.
you knew you wouldn't get hurt, would you rather skydive or view sharks from an underwater cage?
Skydive.
Mm-hmm.
Because I may not get hurt from the shark. I may get hurt from something else. I may drown.
Oh, okay.
No, I'd rather skydive.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, rather than be claustrophobic underneath. Yeah, no.
I'm afraid of heights, but I think if I knew I wouldn't get hurt, I would rather have that experience.
Sure.
I'm not a swim with the sharks kind of girl.
No, I'm not either. But I'm a swim with the dolphins kind of girl.
Oh, I do that for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, number 2. What fashion trend you followed was very cool then, but now looks ridiculous?
Bell-bottom jeans. Do you have one yet?
I think maybe big hair. They used to do very big hair. It was a fashion trend in the 80s and 90s to have very big hair.
It was a fashion trend in the 60s and the 50s too.
We had a very
it's little different.
specific kind of big hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in the 50s and 60s, I've seen some.
Beehive.
Yeah, but that's not the kind of hair I'm talking about. I'm talking about teased,
Yeah.
aquanet,
Yeah.
with bangs,
Yeah.
hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's your proudest accomplishment?
Probably building a house. Physically building a house,
Mm,
of which I did twice.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Not easy. Took a long time,
Yeah,
you know?
I think my proudest accomplishment is having a successful business.
Okay. Mine too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm pretty proud of that too.
yeah. Because that is a long time.
No, I hear
A
you.
lot and a lot of work.
Oh, man. I used to just get like 2 hours of sleep. I used to work.
Oh, all
You
the
know,
time.
yeah.
Working all the time.
All the
Didn't
time.
have a vacation
No, me
or
neither.
nothing for like, I don't
That's-
know, 9
know-
years.
And that's what you have to do in order to get your business to be successful.
No,
You
we're
wanna
not
do
gonna
one more?
that one. Yeah, we're not going to do that one though. Okay, here we go. Would you be likely to survive alone in the wilderness?
Or in the Amazon. Did you hear about those people
No.
that just happened? For like 40 days in the Amazon.
What?
A plane got, yeah.
Oh no.
I think I can survive.
I don't think I could survive very long in the wilderness. I don't know what to eat and what not to eat.
Purple berries.
I got hungry. I probably won't be able to kill anything.
That would be tough. You're right.
Not only would I not be able to kill anything, I probably wouldn't be able to catch it first. You know? I mean, I watch Bear Grylls. even with him, I might not survive in the wilderness. I don't have any outdoor skills really. I could start a fire. I got a flint in that
That's
business.
good. That's good. Yeah.
But nah.
It's hard. I'm sure it's hard.
It's hard.
You know? And I don't ever want to have to experience that.
No, thanks. No.
I
am definitely a creature who likes comforts.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? When you have no electricity, you still flick the switch, right?
Yeah.
It's like, talk about creature of habit.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Even when we don't have electricity, like I have a whole setup to be able to deal with that. You know what I mean? I have a whole huge Tupperware full of stuff. I have battery operated fans because I'm such a weenie
Just
that
in
I
case.
yeah.
Sure. Oh, I hear you.
Lanterns. I've got a gas stove for such a reason. That's why I'm like, you try to take away my gas stove.
Not happening.
To death. Yeah. Like, no, you're not taking away my gas stove, you know? Right. So I don't like sleeping on the ground. I get eaten by bugs.
I do too.
Like, it's no, thank you.
know.
I don't rough it.
No, well, I know.
No.
And my luck, I'd get poison ivy. I know I would.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
But anyway, I think I can rough it for a while. I don't know how long, but
there is something to be said for knowing your limits.
There you go. How are we doing on how much more is left in that box? Do we need to get a new box?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay, we're doing good. All right.
We're doing good. I mean, there's some good wiggle room.
Yeah, literally. So we started our episode with birthday wishes. Let's end it with a happy birthday to Paul McCartney. It's his 81st birthday.
Whoa, happy birthday, Paul.
And something that was in the news with Paul McCartney too is that there's a new Beatles tune coming out. Thanks to technology with AI, he put in John Lennon's voice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
I am looking forward to that.
Yeah. Wow, new Beatles song.
Yeah.
AI is some scary stuff.
It really is. It really is.
You know, they did that with Val Kilmer's voice. They put it together with AI in Top Gun. Yes. And I mean, that was really cool too. So there is really cool stuff they can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Let's just hope it continues for the good.
Yeah, a little spooky. I also find it really weird that we didn't match a single one on our Genesis Desert Island playlist.
Well, except for the honorable mentions. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I figured we were going to do one, but oh well.
There's too many songs, I think.
There's too many good songs. They have a lot of love songs too, and I'm not picking any love songs.
That's funny. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to tell your friends and follow us on Facebook at Sense and Nonsense A to Z, all one word. And wherever you're listening, please like our episodes. And if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to our channel and be sure to hit the notification bell. Ding! To get notified of each episode as it becomes available.
We appreciate you listening. With that, we're out of here.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.